What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. How is Donald Trump not a Russian asset? Seriously, you're going to have to do a lot to convince me that Donald Trump isn't working directly with the Russians and Vladimir Putin. Think about it for a second. President Zelensky goes to the White House, goes to the Oval Office, and he gets talked tough to. Why aren't you wearing a suit? Why aren't you thanking us enough? Why aren't you respecting us enough? There's yet to be one questioning or talking tough about Vladimir Putin. Not one single time. And, Donald Trump talks about peace through strength. There's no strength sent toward the people who invaded the country, who we are now trying to tell them they should be thankful and get to the negotiating table. There's no talking tough to the person who invaded them, but there's all this talking tough to the people who have been invaded. And because Donald Trump got his feelings hurt on that day in the Oval Office, he decided to cut off intelligence sharing with the country who has been invaded. Do you guys understand what that leads to? I mean, we've already seen Russian aggression heighten a little bit more in the last couple of days because of this move by Donald Trump. And I'm not the only person calling it out. There are other news outlets, especially overseas, that are calling this out.
Today, they woke up to the shocking news that the United States had paused military aid. Now, we're also hearing from the head of the CIA Director John Ratcliffe, a bit more detail about that in an interview with Fox Business.
President Trump had a real question about whether President Zelensky was committed to the peace process. And he said, let's pause. I want to give you a chance to think about that. And you saw the response that President Zelensky put out a statement saying, I'm ready for peace. And I want Donald Trump's leadership to bring about that peace. And so I think on the military front and the intelligence front, the pause that allowed that to happen, I think will go away. And I think we'll work shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, as we have, to push back on the aggression that's there, but to put the world in a better place for these peace negotiations to move forward.
Ratcliffe's statement is interesting because he essentially suggests that the military aid pause and the intelligence sharing pause contributed to Zelensky's change in tone, to that letter, to those videos and the social media posting. So he's holding out the idea that once we see Ukraine closer aligned to a Trump administration vision of a peace deal, that they may get this aid back. But it is clear that there was a quid pro quo there, that after the Oval Office, they withdrew that vital element of support to Ukraine. It's anywhere between a fifth to a third, depending on how you count it, but it's vital things like US intelligence, like Patriot air defense missiles, things that Ukraine really can't persist without. I should also add that we understand intelligence sharing isn't really necessarily a real-time thing, so a pause of a couple of days may not be transformative on the front lines, but we're seeing here a lot of the tactics, I think, being used by the Trump administration, a lot of the immediate fallout from that Oval Office meeting, which left European leaders scrambling to shore up their solidarity around Zelensky. And a question too, I think, is the tone of what goes forward.
So think about this. Our answer to Donald Trump having his feelings hurt because Zelensky didn't show up at the Oval Office and kiss his feet and bootlick and ass kiss the way he's used to American politicians doing. He decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and get some Ukrainian people killed. That is essentially what is happening because of the decisions being made by Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk at this point. So I ask again, how is Donald Trump not a Russian asset? How is he not working directly with the Kremlin, with Putin, with Russia, with all of these people? Because it seems like he damn sure is. And the fact that there is not one single person in his cabinet that is speaking on this, that is saying these are not the right moves, that they're just sitting there and allowing it to happen, tells you exactly what we have been saying going into this. There are no guardrails. Donald Trump watched the people who he has in his cabinet now. He watched them for the last 4 years come to his defense, no matter what he did. So those people are now the people that typically would be the guardrails, the people who would typically say, you know what? We got to do something about this. And since we're not, this is what is happening. Period. Hey, if you like my content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out the merch at leftlaughs.com. As always, I appreciate you guys supporting my channel.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in they heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.